Car guys, car gals, good morning.
Yes.
We are here. It is time to brew. Got Fred and Lou, Nancy, Benjamin, here we are. It is time to have a good time. Good morning, car guys and car gals. Woo! Ramirez, the car guy.
This is Fred Leonard, the Subprime Bureau.
And we are excited to have a special guest inside of the cafe today. Nancy Benjamin is Brewing Solutions with us, and we are excited to have this going on.
I'm excited to be here, guys. It's a good morning. It's a good do what we came here to do. Thank you for having me on the show. Couldn't pick a better show to be on. And I'm actually, I just learned something that you guys are probably going to mention later, but it's about your coffee. But more importantly, back to the subject. So I'm excited to be here. I'm from Auto Loan Options. I'm the dealer relations manager for the company. Been doing this for 8 years now with the company. I was one of his first employees, and there's nothing that I love doing more, waking up, making sure our customers are happy, our dealers are happy, and just making sure everybody knows what to do in order to get through the day. So this is what we do here. We generate special finance, the subprime auto liens, and we also have a subprime BDC here at our headquarters here in Auto Loan Options in Royal Oak, Michigan. So behind me is some of the PPCs, some of the we have an amazing team here, programmers, PPC team. We have account managers that are hands-on with our dealers every single day. And in front of me, which is something you don't see, is our BDC center. They are hustling every single day with the dealerships, with the customers, every single lead, and we generate thousands every single day.
That's so awesome. We're going to get so deep into all that stuff, and I want you to talk about your business, what you guys are doing, how you guys are changing, how you guys are being solutionaries out there in a world that needs solutionaries because there's so many problems to be solved.
So before we do that, car guys and car gals, get yourself ready, get yourself jazzed up, get you a little in order to figure out that it is time to get in rhythm, get in sync, get in frequency with one another. Go ahead and tag a car guy, tag a car gal, drop their name into the comment. If you know that they need to get them some of this, go ahead and drop their name in there. Share. And here we
Focus. Live. Keep rolling.
Inside of you, feeling some of them horns getting ready to announce that today is another Solutionaries are rising. Woo, woo. We're excited to be here with some more solutionaries. Another solutionary that's doing great things up in Michigan, and we're just excited to have her here. But we want to let you all know that this brew has been brought to you by Big and Elite FI Partners.
That's
These
right.
are some incredible individuals and companies that have definitely seen that we are here to bring some solutions to the industry, changing mindsets into a positive mental form so that we can do great things. I'm just excited to have some great people here.
I love how you broke the sentences like one sentence sounded like three. We are excited. But no, we're super excited this morning. We have a special guest, Nancy. Nancy's been somebody that I've seen on social media that just brings light every time she puts a post out there. She definitely is all about making things positive, putting things on a great note. I know she's been through some stuff over the last couple of years in her life, but yet she still is a beacon of light out there. And I'm so excited to have her on the show. She's a former podcast host herself, but I'm going to influence and make her do it again because she needs to be out there doing a podcast. Seriously, your voice needs to be out there. But the most important thing for me about podcasts, so you know, and I think that maybe you probably already know this, but it's bringing other voices in and allowing them to time. And when you can do that, your podcast will just, it's butter. You learn so much, you share so much, and then you get to, and everybody in the world gets to have a little piece of that. So we're so excited to have you here. Thank you so much this morning. Good morning.
I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to be here. And yes, I did have a podcast before. We're going to leave that later on.
We'll talk about this some more, yeah.
But it's nice to be on one again, getting interviewed this time, not being the one interviewing.
I know what you mean. When I get interviewed, it's a different rush. Completely different rush. Yeah. And when I remember the very first time I ever was interviewed, I was extremely nervous, almost to the vomit point. But once I was like 1 second into it, I was fine. But all the way leading to that moment, I was like, oh my goodness, am I going to be? No, I was fine. Everything was great. So we're excited. So we know you're going to have a great time today. We know you're going to bring some knowledge. We know that you're going to be able to share some stuff for people that are just going to be able to open their eyes up, and hopefully some people can reach out to you afterwards if they need some help in their dealerships. You know, that's here. Let people know what you do, how you do it, and how to get a hold of you. And we're going to make that happen for you today. So, Nancy, before we do that, we do this thing before we do everything. There's one thing we always do.
What?
We make sure to apply 3 F's as the formula to make sure that we keep growing. And these 3 F's include you wiping off the weight of failure, unforgiveness, fear, worry, doubt, or anything that somebody has said negative about you. All that negativity has to get off your shoulders. You got to wipe it off. Then, number 2, we are going to take the hands that are free to do great things and focus on where it is that we are going, and then we're going to fly. 3 emotions. Here we go on 3. 1. Go ahead, cross it on. There you go. 1, 2, 3. Say forgive.
Give.
Focus. Right here. Fly. And keep growing. Keep growing. Yeah. Get some. There we go.
You did that so perfect.
Here we go.
You know what? That felt good. It starts off my day. I like this.
That's it. That's the best way to start the day. There's no doubt. So we are going to jump into our 5-liner with you, Nancy. And our 5-liner is designed to just bring out you, talk about you, your origin story from where you began to where you are now. So I'm excited about this. Let's get this thing started. The very first question I ask everyone is the same exact question that I ask every person that comes on my show. It's their why, it's their purpose. What drives you when you wake up every morning to get out of bed instead of sit there and hit the snooze button 20 times and sleep in all day long? What motivates you to go ahead and just try to be more than you were the day before?
Ooh, that's a loaded question. It's loaded because there's so many things that built up to this moment. Every single day that you get up, there are people that depend on you. You know, they rely on you. They look up to you. They're inspired by you, or you're inspired by them. It's an opportunity to do something better every single day. And it's for me. I came from very, very humble beginnings, so the fuel that I get from that humble beginning is what drives me every single day, to be honest with you.
Oh, yes. I love it. It's the drive to to be more and know that you are more. You know, there's this United States, the world, and it allows us to become people that we want to be.
That's right. And you don't let the past determine your future. So
That's right. That's right. So true.
Right.
So true.
Exactly. You know, and everybody can start over right this second. You know,
That's
no matter
every
what.
single morning is a chance to start fresh.
Do not let your past define you. You know, and I love that you said that because it's so true. Because everybody has a checkered past at some point, right? Everybody has made mistakes in the past. No one's perfect in this whole planet. There's, to include myself, where none of us are perfect.
Same here.
But what we all strive to do is just be better. And you don't have to even be perfect. You just have to be better than you were the day before. And that's what we strive to be. And I can tell that's what your purpose is, just to be better, to help more people, to do these things. So you're a solutionary at heart, period. That's where your drive comes from, to be a solutionary. So welcome to the show, right? So
Thank you. Thank you.
Just jump in there real quick and dig into this this humble beginning side of it, because there's something about this business that is nearly magical. It's you can come in one way, don't know how to dress, don't really know how to speak, don't know people, don't have connections, don't have an education, may not have graduated high school. There's so many things that have been weights on people to jump into a profession where they can make real, good, solid money. And I mean, become millionaires. You can really find your way, whether you're cleaning your car up to owning the dealership. That path can be created inside of this business. That's why I love this business. We do come from humble beginnings as well. But Nancy, as far as the humble beginnings that you have, and how you've seen the business be able to bend towards helping promote and build up other people. Remember, it's not been race hasn't stopped people from necessarily succeeding inside of this. Religion hasn't stopped people from succeeding inside of this business. Political parties, preferences, none of that stuff stops people from succeeding in this business unless they let it, unless their humble beginnings or things that they take back in and they use as an excuse for why they can't advance forward. So real quick, I just want to dig a little bit more into that. I guess I'll go ahead and use that as my question. Describe some of these humble beginnings that you've come from and how you found your way to the car business.
Let's start with growing up in the roughest part of Detroit you can possibly live in. I mean, obviously Detroit is Detroit, right? So, it has a rep and it lives by it. So it's very real. It was very scary. There were some months I thought I wasn't going to see the next month. Some years I thought for sure this is going to be the last. You know, robberies, you name it, my house getting caught on fire. I watched everything burn. And that kind of stuff shapes you because it thickens your skin at a very young age, but you carry it with you, you know, all those memories you don't forget. So obviously you never want to go back to that moment. And that's why you have to keep trying harder every day.
That's right. So how did you find yourself in the car business?
So when I left college and decided to go visit my father, who lived in Arizona at the time, I had to pay off college debt. So I started with the infamous Van Tile Group out in the Southwest. I started at one of the largest Honda dealerships in the Southwest and got my start there. And honestly, for me, it was just something to get, you know, to pay the bills. And at the time, I did not know I was entering my professional career. It was, you know, the Van Tile training is very process driven. The 12 steps, I'll never forget them. And that's really what got me, I guess, excited about the business and the opportunity to make so much money at such a young age. And it was fun. You get to talk to people. I was able to be myself. It was a very non-judgmental business. And, you know, everybody takes you for who you are. As long as you're treating each other well, everybody's selling cars, everyone's happy, and your consumers feel like, you know, this is a place I'll come back to again. It was kind of a no-brainer for me. And I didn't want to stay in Arizona. So in 2020, September, I came back to Michigan. 2 weeks later, found Auto Loan Options. He hired me and a programmer, and we were his two first employees, and it's been 8 years later, and I wouldn't trade it for the world.
That's a great story. You know, and this business has a way of sucking people in. You know,
It really,
it's addictive because here's the thing, bottom line, we do make money, but what the thing this business does, it solves problems for people. It helps other people. It changes people's lives. It does so many things that are beneficial as a human being to other human beings. You know, so we provide a great service, whether you're in sales, retail, a vendor, whatever you're doing, you're definitely, you're helping other people. And it's like that in a lot of things. You can actually, if you really dig deep, you can find that type of motivation in almost anything you do in this world. If, you know, there's ways that, you know, what you do is it's beneficial to the human race. It's you're helping them, you're helping the race or the people move forward.
correct.
People will be able to live well. But the thing about the car business is that it's an amazing business. There's so many amazing people. There's so many different levels of this business that if you want growth, you can find growth every single day. If you need something to learn, you can sit down and learn something every single day about how to do this job better, right? People like you, Nancy, are the reason why you know what you do and what you provide as a service with your company and with yourself is that you're helping people do all those things. You're helping people realize that a dealership could, you know, talking about subprime, and I'm a subprime hero. I absolutely, you know, love subprime, and I'm all passionate about helping and bringing light to that. And what you do is very much like that. What you do is trying to help people in that market. That market is getting bigger and bigger and bigger every moment. Right now in this world, with the way coronavirus did, with lost jobs and all these people who had fair credit, now they have less than fair credit, or people who had great credit now have fair credit, you know. So there's all this people who are now subprime, and dealerships have to help them. There's a lot of dealerships who wouldn't even try to help these customers. So now they're starting to realize, wow, this market share is way bigger, and it was always big. It was always a huge market share. It's just that they just ignored it. They ignored it because their friends or their family members weren't those types of people, right?
It was unfortunately something that a lot of people kind of swept under the rug. And, you know, a lot of times you never knew who subprime managers were at a dealership. You know, and it's crazy to say, but it's reality. You know,
Facts.
longest time I didn't understand why, because that's your front line for those are your future consumers.
Yep.
That's the man that's going to build that relationship with your future consumers. I never understood why that subprime finance manager or special or whatever they want to call it, secondary, was the guy that wasn't, or the girl that wasn't on their website most of the time. Believe it or not, I couldn't find those professionals on a website. And for the life of me, I never understood it. But I think as time went by, I think more people realize that this is not going anywhere. This is necessary. You need to be more upfront about it. And, you know, what better way to do it than just put yourself out there, let people know you're there to help them. And, you know, it's a good start. I personally think that is, if not one of your most important people at your dealership.
There's no doubt about that.
I mean, consumers that have had challenging times, that maybe your consumer forever, they're going to bring back their family, their friends, because you treated them right.
Right.
The thing that's actually starting to happen big inside of the shift from just the way people are purchasing right now is that there is so much that's happening that's affecting people's credit. There's so much that has shifted. But even before COVID came across, or all of these other things have adjusted inside of our life, the concept of a customer going through some bad times and then not being able to come back to you to purchase is like a mindset I can't wrap around. You spoke about it the other day on how we were brought up in this business. When we were brought up in this business, subprime was subprime. The question we only had was, can I sell them a car? What can I do? What do you want me to show them? Where do you want me to go?
Do I need all steps, or do I just need a couple?
Right. What do I need? Do I need all the references? Do I need proof of residence? Do I need to prove their income? What do I need? Just tell me what I need. This person is this person.
And that's where I feel like banks came along and probably started to do more training on their programs, which I feel is extremely important. if I'm going to be honest, I'm going to definitely say I think a lot more dealerships need to be open about all of the banks that are walking through their doors. And you have to stay in green mode. You can't sit there and think that you know everything, because this business is an ever-changing business.
Yes.
There are things that you will learn about these banks programs every single day to help you sell more cars and help more people.
Bam.
Right.
You know, and that's the key. And people and companies like Nancy works for, they're going to help you learn these processes too. So like, here's the thing, you know, I know that I'm process driven. So in order for me, I can say, hey, I want to do subprime, but until I got my processes in play that I am going to use consistently,
Mhm.
and not and every single time, I'm not going to just fray from it and sometimes work it, sometimes not. You have to do it every single day. Be passionate about every application that your salesperson brings you as a manager. If you're a salesperson, be passionate about every customer that walks on your lot. Tell them how much you appreciate them, how much it means to you that they're even sitting down with you, allowing you to take a credit out from them. Because these people are going through things. They're embarrassed to show you their credit. They're embarrassed to talk about their past history. But
It's
folks,
so heartbreaking, the things that I see every day.
yeah, I do too. You know, it does. You know,
And heartwarming at the same time. When they get help the right way, you should see the reviews they write for some of these dealerships. It'll put tears in your eyes.
but the key to everything is you can do everything right. And I mentioned this the other night when I was on a podcast and when I was being interviewed, is that you can meet and greet them. You can do everything. You can show them the right car. They could buy the vehicle. The payment's affordable. They leave the lot. You do a great delivery. But if you never follow up with these people and you don't send them a thank you note, you don't call them periodically, let them know how much you appreciate the business and ask them how they're doing, they will forget you. Even if you treated them like a queen or a king, they will forget you.
Oh, yes, they will. I
And
mean,
then they will come in and ask for someone else or just be like, I don't remember my person. And at that point, to me, that means you don't deserve that customer. So always follow up. So all you salespeople out there, no matter what kind of sales you're in, whether you're in car business, if you're in pharmaceutical sales, if you're in, you know, insurance sales, it doesn't matter. You have to follow up with everyone that you touch, to include your current roster of clients. Your current roster of clients is actually where you can make the most amount of money even in the future if you use it right, for referrals, for follow-up, for repeat business, for touch-ups, add-ons to their whatever, right? That's such a golden thing, and people underutilize their current database of people so much. That's a whole other story. We can talk about that some more later, but
oh, I can go into that so deep.
oh, I know you can. So we're gonna get to the third question now. So the third question I'm gonna have for you is, and it's somewhat, we kind of talked yesterday on the phone. You know, we were trying to just, you know, get to know each other a little bit before the show started, and when we were talking, you know, I know you mentioned some people in the past. I am sure that there's somebody who heavily influenced you, somebody that you can look back at and be like, this person made a huge pivot in my life by just what they taught me. Who would that person be?
An easy one. I can't even talk about it sometimes without getting emotional, because he took me at a very young age. I mean, I think I was like 22, 23. And 8 years later has turned me into the woman I've always wanted to be. And that is the man that works in that office right there, and that's the owner of this company, Bob Chica, who owns and directs Auto Loan Options. He has taught me more about relationships and the value of nurturing them and taking care of your clients, more than anybody has, and I think ever will. And I owe a very huge portion of my success to that man.
Cheers to him.
Cheers.
That's always good to have a mentor person like that in your work spot. You know, those mentors eventually one day are going to look at you as a mentor in a sense too. You know, I have people who've coached me up, raised me up, helped me become who I am, and then now they're looking at me because I've really reached out, and they're looking for mentorship from me, and that's a beautiful thing. And that's what a mentor wants. Like, I know that if I was
Who's better to get mentored by? My God.
like, so if I can mentor somebody like Lou, right, and I get him pumped up, and then one day he grows so big that I get influenced by what he's doing, that's beautiful. It's your legacy, you know, and you're part of his legacy, and you're going to have a legacy of your own, and I know it's going to be a beautiful thing, and because you're just an awesome person, and you just keep doing what you're doing. You're so positive. Reach out, get uncomfortable. Like, you know, I really want to see this Nancy Marie Benjamin podcast. It needs to happen again, and I think that if you do this and you put passion into it the way you are with everything else you do, I know it's going to be great. And I know that I would be there to support it. I know Lou would be there and anyone, and all these friends that are on here watching now, there's so many people who will support that. So that's a great answer. And kudos to him. So Lou,
Do you really feel like he's pushing this podcast for you? Do you really feel like he wants to see you?
I told her that yesterday that I'm gonna make sure she does this podcast. I won't leave it alone.
So I really, for me, the only reason why, to be honest with you, that I really stopped, and I'm gonna probably grab a tissue because it's hard for me not to get emotional about this. I only stopped the old podcast because after my father passed, I didn't have it in me to interview one more person. I mean, it literally was cut off the moment the podcast was picking up. And it was for me, you know, a no-brainer, obviously. I needed some time to mourn, you know, the greatest man in my life. And I felt disrespectful to continue it for a little while. And then COVID hit, you know, after I actually had a little bit of, I guess, gut to start the program up again, the beginning of this year, we hit COVID, and that's when things started to fall for, you know, some of our dealers, unfortunately. Luckily, our company was untouched as far as, you know, sales and things like that. There were a lot of states that weren't affected. A lot of dealers had amazing record months, believe it or not. And some of them, unfortunately, didn't have, you know, had some not so great moments. And we stuck by those dealerships. In fact, I think we might have been the only subprime lead generator that stopped the leads for dealerships that forgot to tell us to turn things off because we felt it was the right thing to do. We didn't feel right that, you know, right to charge people for leads that, you know, you weren't going to be able to work anyway.
Right.
It was the right thing to do, and I'm very happy that we did. And they have gladly all started up and come back, and I can't believe what they're doing now. I mean, I'm super, super impressed with the dealers that have come back after COVID's industry definitely has thawed out a lot more than it was in the earlier months. But I'm happy to see everybody back at it, selling cars, you know, helping customers every single day. And for us, it's really important who we choose as dealers. And I didn't mention this before, but I'm not going to work with any dealer that wants to sign up with me. I'm just not going to. You need to have the right knowledge, the right team, the right bank setup, the right inventory. We're going to be selective because we're a company based on reputation. If you know what you're going to do or what to do, we're setting our customers up for failure, and we're setting your dealership up for failure. And I'm not here to just take your money. I like to work with you month after month. And the only way to do that is to make sure that we get all those questions answered in the beginning.
Boom. And that's because you're a dealer partner. You're not a vendor. You're not an outside source. You want to be a partner with the business.
That's exactly right.
When you partner, you take ownership of their business in your heart, you know? So when they fail, you fail. When they succeed, you succeed. And that's the only way to take any type of business when you're helping other people is that you have to become one with those people. You have to become that. So like if ABC Motor is my client, I am now ABC Motor, right? You know, when I'm working with them, everything I do, I'm passionate just like the owner would be passionate about this business. I would be upset if something didn't go the way I was planning it to go. You know, all those types of things. I can see that inside you. I see that your company's like that. I love that your owner and your company decided to hold the leads even on people who didn't ask to hold them because it was the right thing to do. Because, you know, those people, they don't think about all the little bills that they're paying out, the dealers and stuff like that, because they're so worried.
Forget all the expenses that you're
Oh, yeah. And by you guys taking the initiative and saying, hey, look, we're going to pump the brakes on this for you guys because it's what we should be doing because I'm going to be giving you leads that are just going to sit there for no reason, right? So you all did the right thing there. That shows you guys that you guys are not about the money. You're about people over profits. And
that's 100%. Integrity is one of the things that he taught me.
Yeah, and I love that. And that's integrity is my number one. To me, it's my biggest core value. It's something that I really try to focus my whole life around, whether it's my home life, whether it's my work life. it's always going to be with integrity first. If I start with integrity, everything falls into place, right? So I love that you guys are like that. I love that you're like that, and I know that it's just going to blossom from there. This whole COVID thing was a great time for a multitude of things. You know, I'm not saying the world. I hate to say even great with the word COVID, but I look at the bright side of everything that we're doing. I look at when I see life and something negative happens, there's always a yang to that yin. You know what I mean? So there's always a positive side to something negative. And if you focus on that negative, you'll drown in it. You'll just be like, man, life is horrible. I can't handle it. But if you focus on the positive or know what the positive is going to be because of this negative, it's easier to stay positive, keep moving forward, doing the right things, having that integrity, helping other people grow. Grow is so key. And you're doing that, Nancy. And I see that. I've seen even the growth of just the last few months during Corona with you. You know, I've seen that you're posting more. You're starting to get more excited about doing things. And I really want to keep encouraging you to do that. It's not to stop, because when it starts to get uncomfortable is when you're doing it right. Right. So keep being uncomfortable.
Right. That's literally what we preach. Now, behind you, what you guys don't see right now is our BDC is working at all of our dealer accounts right now, right behind you. And they walked in and they're like, what's, they had a feeling what was going on, but it was interesting. But they're happy to hear this because they're getting this insight from people outside of the office that are in the business and, feel the same way about how we value, our consumers, our clients, and everything. And that's what we teach them to do as well. I mean, they're here because they want to be here. They're not here because it's 9 to 5. They're here because they actually enjoy what they do. Hopefully they like me.
But I'm sure they do. You're contagiously. It's easy to like you. You just have this coming. Obviously, I don't see you every day. But what you put out there and your vibe is very. Yeah, I do see you every day. Yeah, but the vibe is very. It's very. I'm an open person. I'm here to help. I love people. I love life. I just want to encourage people to enjoy life too. And that's the way that translates to your workforce too. When you can provide that to everybody. And everybody's going on that vibe, and they're feeding off each other. It's just a good thing. We've had some people jump on this morning. Yeah, exactly. It's a family. So I want to throw out a quick shout out to a couple people. There's Mariana Talent Guzal. I hope I pronounced that right. She says Nancy with the red heart. You got Tamra. Well, there's some unique last names. I love them though. It's Kiania Twani. Love that last name. Hopefully I didn't butcher it too bad, because I think it's so cool. If you could show me how to pronounce that, I would love that last name. Anyway, Nancy with the purple heart. You got Michelle Streets, who's one of the Sisters of Savings up there at Rainbow Motors, saying good morning. We got me. I post a comment and ask questions anytime, friends. You got Jason Grimes saying good morning. Matt Damos, my brother. This is my first guy. You're talking about your guy. Now, Matt was the dude who taught me everything when I first started. So love Matt. What's up? Good morning, brother. Then we got
Matt.
He's awesome. And then we got Steve Tagliente. He says, Nancy Marie Benjamin is a total rock star. Amen. I second that. So what question are we on? Third question?
We might be, we're actually on number 4. But I got a couple things that I do want to pull in there that you've said, and I kind of want to pull out real fast, because the relationship that you put together between not just your staff there, but through the relationships that you have with the dealerships. And we posted up here a moment ago, relationships over revenue. You're telling us how your mentor helped you understand the value of building those relationships. You've also explained that you still had campaigns, still had things going on, even as this crisis was beginning to occur, where you could have been producing revenue that would have done nothing for the people that you have valuable relationships with, right? You understood these things. You have a culture inside of the building that you're in, inside of the company that you're in, that's promoting people, that's building up people, in order to make the company stand rock solid. You have people that are passionately believing in what it is that they're doing, what it is that their mission is, and that culture is spewing over into the business that you actually have with the dealers that you have that relationship with. So as I kind of lean a little bit more into that, and understanding that there's so much that happens there. You've explained the processes that you have to have in place, because you don't want to just work with anybody. Right? You don't just let anybody into your life as just a person, and nor do you let just anybody into your business to do business with them. There's key things that have to be in line. Like you said, the inventory, the actual processes. You need to have the banks. You need to have the people that understand the mission. All of these things are key pieces to making business happen for car guys, business happen for the vendors, actual success occur for customers who are trusting the dealers to give them their personal information, to spend their valuable time, then spend their hard-earned money, right? All of these things, you're telling a dealer, I'm going to get you people in front of you, but I want to make sure that you know how to take care of them when they get there. Just because you build a hospital doesn't mean that you got doctors that know how to do surgery, right? And so doing those things is helping to make sure that success comes to the people that you're helping, the dealers, right? Success is seen through the action of the purchase that happens with their client. Yep. But you're also hitting a fine niche, and you're letting people know, or you're letting your dealers know, hey, I'm going to bring you the customers that a lot of banks don't want nothing to do with, or a lot of the prime banks, right?
Right, the prime banks.
Right.
No,
They don't want to help. You're helping them understand, look, these are valuable people. It's going to take a little bit of work. It's going to take a few different processes. It's going to take like inventory that's nearly custom for them, right? That is set up just right for them. There's so many intricate parts in that. So I love the entire understanding that goes into putting a car deal for somebody that is really sitting at the desk with the sales people like, man, I really hope they can get us done. And they wait for that one answer from their salesperson to say, hey, did we get approved? Did we get approved? Are we going to go look at cars now? We're approved? You know, that I get to, because in my posture in the dealership, I get to hear what's going on. I get to hear the conversations between the salespeople and their customer. And I get to hear that customer saying, what, we're approved? When a car is outside and it's all blown up and ready for a complete, beautiful walk around, right? And they say, hey, come here, I got to show you this car. I want to show you this. And it's outside. They're like, we're going to go look at a car, because they're so used to being told, we can't help you. You're not going to get it done. Not today.
Treat it like a number. Just treat it like a number.
And that's so horrible when you think of it, that if you bring your sick child, to the hospital, and they say, we don't know what's wrong with them, and we can't help them, how does that make you feel? What kind of rage rises up inside of you when you're like, what do you mean? You're the place that has all of this stuff to fix us. You have doctors, you have all of these people that can help me be better or diagnose what my problem is, and you're telling me you can't help me? Well, this is what happens when a customer that has had a couple hiccups in the past, maybe a lot, maybe complete calamity, maybe they've never had anybody tell them how to pay a bill or lick a stamp. It doesn't matter. Whatever the case is, they're inside of your dealership because they need help. What is the help that they need? They have a transportation problem, right? They need a vehicle, and you're there to help them with that. So as long-winded as I'm getting in it, the philosophy is that you're providing a way to help build that relationship with people and saying, I don't care what your past was, I want to help you out. I don't care what your actual roadblocks are, I want to help you out. You're doing that, but you put processes in place. What I want to ask and what I want to know about, and what I think many people probably do want to know, is what is it that you do, or how is it that you encourage these dealers to adjust their mindset towards looking towards these people? What would you say to a person that you're delivering your product to? You're saying, look, we're going to bring you these people. They have these issues. This is what's going on, but they actively want to purchase something. What would you say to them to get their mindset in place to be able to help put that relationship over revenue?
I would say the biggest thing is the opportunity. You're going to probably speak to somebody who, you know, is completely afraid to speak with anybody, who's never done this process before, and you're creating bridges that you've never otherwise had before with, you know, people that can become a long-time customer. You know, you just never know. Obviously, I mean, let's look at it two ways. You're building relationships, and you're also getting a huge gross profit. I mean, what you make out of subprime is normally a little bit more than what you would make in other sales. And I'm not saying it's not all profit, but profit's not a bad word. You're You're going to work to build a life and all of that, and pay your bills and feel good about what you do. You're in sales, but you're also, I mean, you're looking at this consumer and you're giving them the opportunity to get into a car that they never thought possible that they could ever drive. And they take that home, they're coming back to you for, forever. They're going to tell their family about you. That is the greatest customer you can have. They literally do the work for you. I mean, really, if you think about it, what work are you doing? The consumer is really doing all the work. They're putting their steps together. They're bringing everything that they need. All you're doing is really helping them get from point A to point B, and helping them get into a vehicle that they never thought possible.
Right. You're a confidence builder, and that's what salespeople are. You have to build their confidence up. When you have an approval, at that point, it's just building confidence and letting them know that your product is good, that you're good, that the dealership is good, that they're going to be able to afford it, that they're making the best decision they could ever possibly make. Confidence builder. And when you do that and you're good at that, and you can look people in the eye and honestly make them feel comfortable, make them feel like, hey, this is fun, and I know that I'm making the right decision here because this guy's all comfortable. He seems really smooth about it. He's not all raggedy and all trying to be shady with me. He's just being honest, having tons of integrity. He has he's friendly. He's got manners. He's got all those things, or she, or whatever the salesperson is in front of him. They got to just take care of the customer and build the confidence in them. And the confidence, even with people who are begging for a deal, they're still nervous. They don't want to make a bad decision. There's not a person out there that doesn't want to make a bad decision. But so the key is just to make sure that you coach them up and you do that, and that's something that, you touched on a bunch there. You talk about how these clients are amazing. So if you do your job, you go all the way through all those points, you deliver the vehicle, and you treat them right, it's so simple. I mean, it's like that even with prime customers, folks. So all the stuff that we're talking about, even prime customers with a great, perfect credit, they still don't want to make mistakes. They still want to feel confident in their purchase. Yeah. They still want to like the person they're buying a vehicle from. And they still need follow-up, just like all the subprime customers. So follow up, make sure you treat everybody like a millionaire. Be right, make them feel comfortable, and build the confidence in them to understand that they are making the best decision they can make at that moment. So
let's get to a couple of comments real quick.
Yeah.
We got Steve. We've already said that. She is a rock star. I 100% believe that. Randy says that he's been working with you for 6 years and you are the best.
I'm sure he knows.
Man, Terry from the think tank.
Randy's the best.
Says, how does the subprime customer experience differ from the prime customer experience during the purchase? The one thing that I would answer on that is, well, I'm going to need you to prove that you make that much. That's one thing that changes between the prime customer and the subprime customer. Usually that's the one thing that changes is we have to prove what it is that we're saying. You know what I mean? And that's usually not that big of a problem.
You should be able to prove everything you're saying, period, anyway, whether you're prime or not. To me, and I'm going to let Nancy answer this after too, but for me, the difference in experience is nothing. I'm still going to treat them with the respect. I'm still going to show them a vehicle and give them the best features and benefits and demo drive that they've ever had in their life. I'm still going to ask them questions. I'm still going to, investigate what they're trying to do, what's the best fit for them. I'm still going to investigate what their monthly payment needs to be. I'm still going to investigate what their last interest rate was, what their last vehicle was, I'm still going to do all that. So the experience difference is only if your dealership is making it different.
If your salesperson responds differently, right?
Right.
If your salesperson responds differently.
That's it. I believe that when you deal with customers, you treat them all the same, period. So give them all a great experience. Treat everyone the same. I don't have a subprime department in our dealership. We don't. I've never had one in any of the stores I've worked in because we don't have a different division for subprime. It's the same person. They're human beings that came on my lot that need a vehicle. That's all they are. Prime, subprime, that's something we talk about when it comes to lenders and stuff. But when it comes to people, it's people. So I don't have a different experience. So that's my answer, Terry. Terry knows me real well. I love Terry.
But Disney doesn't change their experience.
Yeah, Disney doesn't change the experience because you're staying at a value resort or if you're staying at one of their resorts. You go to the park, you still get the same experience. So
I'm gonna even take it a step further and say you might just have to have a little bit of empathy, a little bit.
Oh yes.
This person has went through possible hell and back. God knows what they went through the course of the last few years. And I think what might happen for that consumer is, if they experience more empathy they will be more comfortable with you. They want to know that you're not judging them.
That's right.
And that is only in the case that somebody, obviously just went through just horrible things. There's nothing wrong with showing your human side.
That's right. That's right. John Maxwell said that it doesn't matter. A person doesn't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And when you're sitting there with that customer and they understand that, look, I know that there's challenges and I'm here to take them on with you. Actually, you're sitting with me because we're the best at being able to overcome these challenges for you. And when you put that type of a posture towards that customer, you start to build up on their certainty. You start to build up on their belief that there is success for them. There is somebody that wants that for them. And that ultimately is what leads to the referrals, the other people that start to say, man, you're certain about this person helping you. You weren't just like that. I want to go see them too.
You guys are spot on. You guys are spot on.
Well, we're drinking Car Guy coffee. Speaking of, if anybody wants to go get themselves some Car Guy coffee, they can go to carguycoffee.com.
That's right.
Order them some of this caffeinated consistency.
Before we get to the fifth question, we got some of these more comments. Matt a moment ago said everything is possible when you fall in love with your customer. I love that. That's another. I was talking about Matt earlier. You got Charles Higgins. Charles, I'll see you later today, brother. It says, absolutely.
Charles.
I have seen many dealers take a look at a credit bureau and make a decision for the bank and never send the application over, basically what he's saying. He says that he has a post-it note that says, just send it. Sometimes you never know what the bank is willing to do. I agree. There is a slight line that you're going to have to alter. Like if they don't have a job, you can't submit that deal. If they don't have a way to pay the vehicle back, that's the only time I don't submit. Like if somebody literally, there's people who do it, folks. There's people who walk in, has no job, no income. I'm getting ready to get a job. Well, I want to submit it, but I can't, right? So there's some cases where you can't submit every deal, but I submit every qualified when it comes to their income and things like that 100% of the time. Let's see, you got Randy. He says, we just had a customer come back, traded in her 19.95% loan for a 7.7. She's happy and will be a customer for a lifetime. Yeah.
Yes, she will.
100%. That is what.
See why I work with Randy?
Yeah. And then Randy says bad things happen to good people. I love that. I say it all the time. It's so true. Everybody's been through something in their life. Everybody's been through, people have been through divorces. People have been through coronavirus and lost their job that was making like 6 figures and now they're making nothing or they're making half of that, right? So their life had to be altered, So things happen to good people. This world, it's just ever changing. But here's the thing. Everybody goes through bad spells, right? When you go through a bad spell, eventually you're going to get back up. At least we hope, right? So once you get back up, you're going to remember the people who helped you get back up. So that's the whole point of all this right here. So I love this. So let's get to the fifth question for you, Nancy. I'm excited about this fifth question. The fifth question is something actually Lou was one of the first ones to ask this question. It's about your life. We all have things in our life that we're very proud of, things that we received or accolades that we were like, wow. But there's something that in your life has been the greatest reward. The thing that because of what you've done or what you've been through, there's something that's come out in life that has been something that you absolutely just love. What is that reward and what would that be?
Oh, man, loaded.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good one. It's a good one. I don't know if I can sum it up into just.
Sum it up as many as you want.
Put an S at the end of it.
You can put an S, rewards.
I would say, let's say a couple of things. First and foremost, hopefully being a good example of, leadership. That's something that I hope people have taken away from all of this. And I hear it a lot, and I guess I've been happy to hear that I have changed, some people, especially past employees that have gone further in their lives now, that have come up further in their positions here.
Yep.
That is the most fulfilling thing you can hear from somebody else, is that what you taught them allowed them to grow.
Yeah, that's exactly that's huge, and that's something that I take dear in heart. Like people I touch, people I've been the leader of, in the sense, that I want to make sure that I was able to help them grow and touch them and help them be encouraged to do the same thing for others, right? And also in my, even with like peers, people that are that are at my level. I hope that I do stuff that influences them to move on and do things like that too. So that's a great reward to have.
Pretty
Yeah.
sure.
And you're just starting, you're still a young puppy, so you got a lot of time left in life to do all kinds of amazing stuff, and you're just beginning, and you're definitely blossoming, and I think that you naturally shine. And I think that if you add more light to that shine and you keep pushing towards it, it's going to really do amazing things for you, for the business that you're at now, and for whatever future endeavors that you do. And we really hope to be,
I appreciate that.
we appreciate you for being
Yeah,
on
thank you
here
so much
and
for
doing
being
that. So and answering these questions. Now we do have another section we're going to get to. It's our fresh news, and this is where we want you to talk about your business some more and what you guys have to offer and whatever else that you want to talk about. Podcast, whatever. I'm just saying. But I want to, we're going to get to that. It's our fresh news section, folks. And fresh news is awesome. Nancy Marie Benjamin is on the Car Guy Coffee podcast. She's been an amazing guest to have this morning. I'm so excited. I'm wide awake. I'm ready to tap this day and get encouraged and help other people get encouraged, because that is a great reward to have, is to help other people and help them become more. So
yes, Nancy is a solutionary that is rising in this industry and is continuing to solve problems for people. And she's not letting whatever the issues are of customers or business limitations or mindset, things to stop people from being helped by her company. And we do honor that. We appreciate the time that you spent. Again, folks, there's so much in there. If you're just now jumping in, when this goes off, you need to go back, listen to it a little bit. She's overcome some things that all of us encounter. All of us encounter loss inside of our life. All of us encounter situations where we need to find a way to continue to drive forward after life hits us with some pretty heavy things. And I'm so thankful that we've had the chance to have Nancy on this section of Car Guy Coffee podcast. We are on to fresh news, Fred. You about ready for that?
I am
ready to jump in there.
Nancy,
folks,
are you still
give
there?
us a couple moments and we are going to be right back. This is Lou Ramirez, the Car Guy.
It's Fred Lenars, the Subprime Hero. I think you locked right back.
Focus. Live. Keep rolling.
Car guys and car gals, welcome back to the podcast. This is Lou Ramirez, the Car Guy.
This is Fred Lenars, the Subprime Hero.
And we are excited to be brewing solutions. We got some fresh news for you, everybody. We just got done finishing up a 5-liner with Nancy Marie.
It was a great 5-liner. I'm so excited that we had her here this morning. Her and her team over there are doing some amazing stuff. Folks, if you guys are needing some help in that F&I department, if you need some leads, she's about to go over all the stuff that she can provide for you. Make sure that you guys get in touch with Nancy. If you haven't already, get in touch with her. Even if it's just for a conversation, she can just break it down for you, show you how she could benefit you in your business. And if you guys see something, give them a shot. They're doing some amazing stuff. And obviously, she cares about her clients. And you guys can see that right now. This whole spotlight definitely highlights everything we're talking about. I can't wait for her to drop in these nuggets that she does.
Without further ado, car guys and car gals, welcome back to the screen, Miss Nancy Benjamin. Getting some coffee.
Folks, she's all about the Benjamins. You know what I mean? So I'm so excited to have you here. Thank you for the 5-liner. That was a blessing for us to listen to your story, hear where you come from, what motivates you, who motivated you, and also what your rewards and what keeps you motivated. And I'm excited to have you here. Now it's time to talk about what you are doing over there up in Michigan, helping out people across the country. Let's get this thing going. So today our fresh news segment, folks, is coming up. We have an amazing solutionary here, Nancy Marie Benjamin. And not only is she an amazing person, but she's also a great business mind. So we need to talk about what she does, folks. Get ready to hear what she's going to bring and can offer to you and your business. Nancy, now what you do for a living is an amazing thing. It's something that I've got a lot of passion in, that I know that if I was to venture outside the car dealership, it'd be something very similar. Let's talk about that. So what's the name of your company? Tell everybody about what's going on. How to get a hold of you, all that type of stuff.
So we are Auto Loan Options. We are headquartered here in Royal Oak, Michigan. We have been around for 8 years. We're an Inc. 5000 company, very happy about our processes and what we believe in here. It's relationship, reputation, and the rest will come through. We are the only subprime lead provider that currently has a standing BDC in the United States that follows up with your appointments before and after your appointment. I mean, they tell us they have absolutely no desire to purchase a vehicle or until they obviously first purchase from you. So very proud of this team. They come in and they handle the business every single day. Talking to dealers, talking to our consumers, building that bridge, getting them in the door, making sure everybody's happy, precision on process, and I couldn't be more proud of them.
That's huge. That's awesome. So I want to ask a quick question on that, because there is so many dealers that say, give me leads. I want leads. Give me them. Send me people, right? And then it's like they have all these people and they don't know what to do with them.
Yeah, which is why we don't just work with any dealer, as we were mentioning earlier. We are very selective with who we work with. For the sake of the dealership, for your budget and us, being our reputation on the line, and our consumer, I will never send a consumer to a place where they will not be treated properly.
Come on.
And I will never take money from a dealership up front, knowing they don't know how to do what they're supposed to do, and just collect a check, because that only means I'm going to work with you for a very short amount of time, and that's not the business that I'm interested in at all. And this is how we have been since day one. The owner of this company has made it clear that he believes in transparency. We believe in making sure that our clients are happy and our dealers understand that we are on their side. We generate special finance leads for hundreds of dealerships, thousands of them every single day, all across the country, from the Bay Area to Florida to New York. And our dealers are killing it right now. I couldn't be more proud of them.
That's exciting.
That is really exciting. And I'm actually looking at your website right now. Folks, it's Auto Loan. It's Auto Loan Options with an S at the end .com. So AUTOLOANOPTIONS.com. I know I took the long way on it. I'm going to put that up here for you guys to see too. But make sure you check out their website. It's very easy, user friendly. I'm looking at it right now. It's not going to complicate you. You're not going to get confused. It's very direct, their message. So check it out. This website's going to definitely be something that you can utilize. I think that you guys need to get a hold of Nancy like this morning and make sure that you guys get a little tutorial on how to use this stuff. So
thank you. Be more than happy. This is what we do. You guys have, honestly, I caught your name, right? So, with the name that you had on Facebook, the Frederick Subprime Hero. First of all, Hero and Subprime in the same name. I'm like, who is this man? Need to talk. then I saw Lou a little bit afterwards, but then as I got to know you guys better and watch your show a bunch of times, I'm a huge fan of the show. It just, it's that positivity that you guys put out to the world that this industry desperately needs. And it's, you can never get enough of it. And it's very nice to know that guys like you are out there giving it your all every single day. So thank you for what you guys do.
Wow, I appreciate it. Work really hard to put that out there like that. But at the same time, our mission is to highlight you. So I do appreciate you talking about us. But at the same time, this show is about you. We have a lot of people that are watching right now that absolutely love you. You have a fan base already, and it's crazy, right? So for all you Benjamin heads out there, we got her here now. So it's cool. You have a great fan base. I see it. I see when you post your posts online and you see the comments you have a great to the point where it's amazing because you have a great following. It's beautiful.
I've been blessed with incredible people in my life. Like, I cannot put it to words how, like, you can't encompass the blessedness if I can. But
blessedness, I like that.
A lot. It's a mixture of friends. It's a mixture of dealerships that work with me forever. It's a mixture of, people that have never met me that want to meet me someday, and I do too. Or it's just people that get inspired by what I put out there, and I share the same love back. So they know what you give me is what I'm going to give you. And that's every single day.
We did have a question I want to throw at you because Dan Reardon came on, and you kind of touched on this earlier. He may have missed it, but what criteria does a dealer have to meet in order to receive these leads?
The right bank. So obviously making sure that you understand and had some experience on how to sit down and speak with a consumer with respect, some empathy, and first, bank knowledge. That's going to be huge. That's going to be the make or break. Your bank knowledge is going to be how you manage all these leads and your process. So if you don't have your own BDC, I have one. I'm not worried about that part. We have an extraordinary subprime BDC center here.
But once they show up,
but, they show up every single day, and it's a fraction of the cost that you would have to pay for building your own BDC. And I can get into that later, but it literally costs takes a cut in half, probably even less. But your banks, I'm going to throw some names of banks out there: AutoTrack, Westlake, Credit Acceptance. They're a few minutes away from me, actually. Banks like this, they come out to your dealership and they share their program knowledge, or their program and their product, and their however it takes for you to sit down and connect what you know about that bank and know what will work for that consumer. And that's why I mentioned earlier, it's always good to stay green, because you never know what new programs are out.
And they change so often. I've seen so many actual guidelines for the banks change so much just during the past 3-4 months, right?
You get a bug in the hair. So yeah, it's okay. Hey,
to play off a fruit fly around your ear.
I like it. That, or she likes to swing her hair around really weird. Either way, it was cool.
I was just showing off my shampoo. That's all I was doing.
Right. So but yeah, no, and she's right on the money. The lenders do matter. Lenders are huge. I'm huge. We do a lot of subprime where I'm at, and I crush subprime, and to me, it's the best type of business. But that being said, having the right lenders in place, she mentioned a handful right there that are wonderful. Those are great subprime banks right there. Westlake, CAC, those two lenders there will help you get people that no one else can get done, right? There's a lot of these other subprime lenders out there across the nation that are amazing right now. There's a few that are just really doing some stuff. I'm not going to name drop too many. I've done it a lot, but she's so right on that. Then Randy talks about inventory. Inventory is also very important, because if you don't have cars to sell them that fit inside those guidelines for those lenders, then what's the point of having the lenders? What's the point of setting an appointment, right? So you got to have the right this. Having a BDC is wonderful. She's right. Having a trained BDC that specializes in this type of business is great. And you having one in-house that can facilitate dealers is wonderful. And then being able to, if you have a store though, you know, like for us, we don't have a BDC. We train our guys how to use phones. They are a BDC. They're strong. They're BDC salespeople that are amazing.
And not everybody's like that.
But not everybody can do that.
Help them.
Right. We just
Nobody really invests in that type of training, and that's one thing that I wish more dealerships did.
It's simple. It's called weekly training. Just all you do, you don't have to spend no money. You just sit down, and I'm going to just give that secret. Sit down with them every week, and then on daily, you do daily little catch-ups with them. And you have to inspect what you expect, right? So if you don't do that, then you're just letting money fly away anyway. And that's what a lot of dealers tend to do, is they just tend to just put it in cruise control and let it roll, right? Let's just, we're making enough money. We're staying, you know, above water. We're good to go. I'm not worried about that. Just keep staying above water, and we'll always be okay. Well, they can not only just be above water, they could double their income if they freaking put the work in. They took time with these leads. They trained their department or hire a BDC department, whatever you need to do. But no, these leads are amazing. I think that you guys definitely need to go check out her website. You need to reach out to her on social media. She's everywhere. She's on LinkedIn. She's on Facebook. You know, you guys can find her and make sure you reach out, because I know that if you reach out, she'll reach right back at you and she'll find a way to help you really soon. And if she can't, she'll pass you off to somebody at her place that can actually go with what you need to do, right? So
there's key things that happen with that processing of a lead that she's mastered down inside of her relationship with the people that she's with right there at the BDC, an empathy that the dealership actually has to have for that customer, because what often is the case that whether your salesperson is the people processing the lead or the BDC is processing the lead, the customer in many case scenarios will vomit out so many things that are hindrances to them being able to accomplish that purchase. And it's that training of understanding, I'm not worried about that. We need to get you in front of a salesperson. I'm not worried about that. Come on in.
That's
set that appointment.
You know, and that's probably, the BDC probably does better than the average salesperson, because salespeople will start pre-qualifying. I don't want to over the phone. You know, they're like, oh, you only been on job for how long? You only do, and they lose motivation to set the appointment.
Right.
It hurts me to see so many dealers do that because, well, for one, there's so many honest mistakes that they do, right? Pre-qualifying, I absolutely do not condone. Unless you're in an area where, let's say, you know, I have a dealer out in North Dakota, and a lot of their consumers come out from 200 miles away, and some of them don't have transportation.
So that is different, yeah. I do agree with that.
Let's be flexible and help these people, because they're trusting. They're coming to you and saying, hey, I need some help. I don't have a car. I want your business. I want you to earn my business, but I just don't know how to get there. So what can you do for me to help you, get this moving? And we even collect tips for you.
Yeah, and that's a beautiful thing. And I think that you do, there is that gray area, and you're right. That's so money. I'm glad that you brought that point up, Nancy, because there is times when people, if they take that 2-hour drive, they're gonna have to take an Uber, they're gonna have to do something, and they don't want to spend, they don't have the money to drive themselves back, right? So they want to make sure that when they come, they're going to be leaving in a vehicle. In those types of cases, yes, I agree. You do. It's not necessarily pre-qualifying; it's qualifying. So you kind of do the thing. So you're basically setting the appointment up online to set them up for an appointment later. But you're getting them qualified, you're getting them pre-approved. And in today's world, I like face-to-face appointments. Don't get me wrong, but when it comes down to like somebody driving 2 hours away plus 3 hours, in some cases, then at that point you kind of have to not cater to that, but you have to make alterations for them. You have to make something that's different so that you can get them qualified. Because the worst thing in the world is to get somebody, oh man, we know we have a great approval rating. Come on in. They drive 3 hours, and then you kick them out, and that sucks. And I wasn't want to do that.
The worst feeling ever. And it's all about serving your consumer. You're helping people. At the end of the day, that's what you're doing.
There's no doubt about it.
The qualifying part really can affect your sales overall. I mean, you're getting a piece of paper, but you haven't even had this consumer walk in and tell you their life story yet. They have an aunt or uncle that's going to co-sign that they never brought up yet on paper.
That's the reason why I definitely owe that, and that's one of the reasons. But they may have money in the bank that they didn't talk about. They may have, like you said, the co-signer that drove them there. That person is going to help them buy, but they don't talk about that on the phone, right?
No.
You're not supposed to.
Or the co-signer, or it could be that, they haven't had the motivation to go do it because they haven't sat in anything. They haven't felt the leather. They haven't felt the steering wheel. They haven't felt how good it is to drive that car. I'm not going to go find money until I know I really love something.
Yep, I agree.
That's right. There's something that also happens there, whether it's the 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour drive. Once you start having a few people that have gone through the process and have had the success, then that's when the referrals that are so confident and so certain that you can help them out, they'll start making those 1 hour, 2 hour drives because they know that their friend got taken care of. They know that somebody had empathy for them. They know their friend's worst situation and how you still got a car. Bro, I know what you got going on.
Right.
If you got approved, I know I can get approved. You know what I mean? I know I can get approved if you got approved. You know what I mean? I get paid $2 more an hour. Whatever the case is, these situations of victory start to be what a person uses to build their faith, to travel crazy distances, pass up hundreds of other car dealerships to sit right there in front of you because you built them up to understand that if anybody's going to find a way to help them, it's going to be you. And you have the processes in place. You're doing what it is that it takes to help people out. And we love that there's other solutionaries that are out there that value customers the same. Thank you so much for this time.
Thank you. And our company thanks you. Actually, I was just telling you guys a little bit earlier, though, you guys brought an energy here to the office that everybody can hear. And I think I almost love the fact that I put you guys like right in the middle of the office. So
Get it.
here you go.
Get some. Get some.
So I don't know if I can, hold on, let me see here. It's just kind of like a.
What's going on, everyone? Hey, crush your day. Crush your day. Keep going. Keep growing. Keep growing.
This team right here. Make some noise, guys. Make some noise.
Make some noise.
Let me hear you. Get some.
I love it. And that's how you start your day. You got to get them pumped up. You got to get it right because when you're sitting down, it's after a while you start to slouch. You start to get up. Then your voice sounds like this on the phone. Hey, that sounds really awesome.
So speaking of getting pumped up and getting the day started, car guys and car gals, I know that you have a day you got to go get started. I got a day I got to go get started. Nancy's got a day she's got to get started. And we've started the right way by brewing solutions in the car guy.
From everybody from Auto and Options, thanks to you. And everybody who's listened to this today, I'm excited to help you.
We appreciate it. Make sure you guys reach out to Nancy. She is excited. Get a hold of her today because she's super jacked up. She had her coffee early this morning. She's ready to go. She's got her team pumped up. They are ready to rock and roll for you and your business. So reach out to them as soon as possible. If you only have me as a connection, reach out to me. I'll get you connected with Nancy lickety split. No problem at all. So make sure you guys reach out. Get a hold of the AutoLoanOptions.com. Amazing company, doing amazing things. Help them grow so they can help you grow. Let's make it go.
These last couple comments are talking about the awesomeness. That's Nancy. Nancy is simply amazing, and she is the way. And she's the same way in her personal life and with friends as in her professional career.
Wow, that's awesome. What a compliment there.
This man right here, you can learn so much from. So it's the other way around. I can't even explain it.
I need to get hold of it. So then we got Doug Robinson says, she's still young and blossoming. Yes, of course. Then you got Maurice Williams, friend of mine, actually grew up here. He's in the car business himself. What up? What's up, Maurice? Hope you're crushing over there at the Pinkham store. Then you got Dan Reardon. We talked about that a little bit. Randy says, right banks, right inventory. Yes, we talked about that. Landing on the right vehicle is huge. Salespeople will choose the wrong vehicle 100% of the time. Yes. I could actually go through a whole process. That's a whole other show. We'll talk about that later. Randy, if you have questions, reach out to me. I'm happy to talk about that for hours. Then you got Dan saying, Randy, that falls on the manager's shoulders. Bam! That's part of it. So we can talk about that some more later too. And then Randy at says you won't be disappointed. Folks, he's right. You won't be disappointed if you reach out to Nancy right now. If you do it, it's gonna help you so much. You're gonna feel the love. You're gonna feel all that type of stuff. So make sure you guys reach out. You guys have a great morning, a great day, a great rest of the week. Encourage everybody. Be the light, folks. Always be the light. Forgive, focus, and fly so you can keep growing. And everyone out there, reach out to Nancy because she's awesome. All right? So let's go. You guys have a good one. Nancy, thank you so much for your time. Folks, thank you for everyone for tuning in this morning. We had a great show. I had a great time. I'm ready to go out and crush the day and make it happen. Get my cup bent.
To listen to the podcast, folks, and to hear this as it gets cut down for you to listen on your drive, go to carguycoffee.com. If you want to brew solutions and you actually want something good inside of your cup to sip on, go to carguycoffee.com, order you some coffee. And if you just want to hear some more of what the Solutionaries have been brewing over this past year, go get you some, listen to a couple of those. It'll definitely upshift and uplift your mindset so that you can attack your day and brew solutions for the people that are trusting you. Nancy, we thank you so much.
You guys are amazing. I'll see you soon.
We'll talk soon.
Thank you so
Have a
much.
great day.
Bye.
Car guys and car gals, we're out.
We're out.
We're going to say real quick that Nancy Benjamin is 100% Car Guy Coffee approved.
You got
Let's
that
just
coming
go ahead and up. I don't. You can go ahead and click right there.
Bam!
Bam!
That's
Car
what
Guy
she
Coffee
is.
approved.
CBC
Fresh
approved.
News
Nancy
episode.
Marie Benjamin. Man, that was a lot of fun, folks. I hope you guys had a great time. We're going to leave you guys with our favorite video. The one we always started with and the one we middle it with.
Intro is the outro.
Here it goes. Yeah, the intro is the outro. And soon you'll be seeing Nancy on there doing the Forget Focus
Yep.
Live. That'll be dope. Y'all have a good one.
Yeah. Focus.